What's up guys, my name is Qazi. Welcome to a very exciting video. We're going to grade this, and this. These three shots without looking at it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna grab this, move it over here, and we're going to grade it only staring at our scopes. So we're gonna go through the importance of scopes, that if you have command over this, you don't even need to look at the footage. You can just grade it. And if you think I'm making this up, and I'm gonna be cheating and I have this footage popped up somewhere else, let me turn my camera around and show you. So these are all the screens that I have. This is one screen, there's nothing here, there's nothing here. There's this screen right here. Let me just turn this around so I can see what I'm showing you. This screen is turned off. Usually I have my scopes here, omniscopes, that's turned off. Like the omniscopes are not there. And that's it. So we're going to be no screen here, just scopes. And we're going to be grading this. So let me put this back here, how I usually have it set up, like this. And if you enjoy watching content like this, it will mean the world to me. There's a lot of you that are not subscribed to this channel, so do that. We're putting out 2 videos a week, 1 reel per day, 1 short per day. So do not miss out on these sort of gems. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, smash the like on this video, leave a comment for future content if you have any suggestions. Let's get right into it. For those that don't know me, my name is Qazi. I've worked with brands like Adidas, Amazon Prime, Universal Studios, and I make no just straightforward color grading tutorials so you can work with your dream clients. So let's put away the footage and let's pop open our scopes. When you look at your scopes, you'll probably have, I've basically reset my scopes, so then it just goes back to what you will have. So this is what you're going to be looking at. So let's modify it and set it up for what we want. So what I like to do is, let's just say if we leave the parade here, that's totally fine. Colorized parade is super important for balancing and setting up your exposure. The waveform though, I want to click right here. I want to go to the Y channel and then make it colorized. Why am I doing that? Because this is sort of redundant to like what's happening here. So I don't need to see this. I want to see this because this also very much helps with like what's happening on our anchors, what's happening with our highlights, what's happening with our shadows. So if there's any contamination there, or especially if we have skin tones, we need this because this is just a very good visual reference. I'm going to take my waveform and crank that up. Because we are not looking at the footage, we need all the support that we can get from our scopes. We want to crank all of these puppies up, okay? Or bring it up so like we can really see the nuances. Vector scope, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to crank this up quite a bit. We also need our skin indicator, so we have an idea like what we're doing, especially the shots where we actually have people in there. Histogram, we're just going to leave it as is, okay? So we are pretty good to go with what we need. So what are we seeing here? If you don't have anything to look at, start with vector scope. Like, dude, this entire image is sitting right here in one quadrant. This is our warm quadrant, okay? It runs from yellow to red all the way here. We have to pull that out. The simple rule of thumb is like, the closer your image is, majority of the juice, like in going through the crosshair, the more balanced your image is. You don't want to always follow that rule for a simple reason. Morning footage and night footage is going to be leaning toward like cooler tones. So you don't want to strip that out, you know, because that's what it looks like with our own eyes. I'm going to be showing you 3 completely different ways to do this. On all 3 shots, we're going to use different techniques, and I'm going to show you why. The reason why I'm going to pick my HDR offset here is because this is a really big jump. We have to move our entire image way too much, and this is the best way to do it, like where we can just click here in the global offset and start moving it around and really see like what's happening with our image, and then kind of go, well, maybe somewhere around here is starting to look pretty good. All of a sudden, how many colors are we seeing now? We started from this, and look at the colors that were hidden because the image was not properly balanced. Look at red, green, blue. Like all of a sudden, all these colors popped up, okay? Look at our red, green, blue. That's why we want to have scopes here. Like before it was like this. This is lining up very nicely. So already I just know without looking at anything, I'm in a very good place right now. I'm just anticipating that this is our skin tones, and then I'm keeping it to that line. That's why the skin indicator was so important. You're seeing that? So that is like my anchor, my reference point that things are looking good. Also, like this white in the image is also my anchor to tell me, dude, I'm doing something right. I'm getting some good colors in here. Second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add contrast. Now our pivot in DaVinci Wide Gamut, which is how everything is set up here, working color space is 336. This is our 18%, okay, lock. Now we can go in our contrast, start pushing it. The thing to keep in mind when you use your contrast here is that you don't want to like squish everything on the top and the bottom. Like when this starts happening, everything is like just being squished so much. That's not good. We just want to do a little bit of healthy contrast, right? So even like something like this, if I do before and after, it's not bad. Everything is kind of lifted though. So a lot of our meat is going to be between 256 and 384. And keeping that in mind, I'm going to go in my HDR palette. I'm going to take my overall exposure. I'm going to bring it down a little bit, not too much. I personally feel like this image is starting to look really good. Can we go in our contrast and maybe do a little bit more? I don't know. We can kind of keep it somewhere around here. I think it's time to reveal our image. Okay, everything is looking good. Maybe bring that down to 1/4 of a stop. I mean, I'm just kind of OCD with that stuff. So now everything is lined up. Let's bring it in. Time to reveal our image. So I'm going to bring this here. And this is our before. And this is our after. I mean, not bad for grading blindly. So this is where we're at. Look at all the colors that we got from our image. So this is before. This is after. Grading the entire thing blindly. Look at our whites. Okay. Remember, I said like this will be our anchor. And then where is her skin? Did we actually do something to the skin? Yeah, exactly. Look at the skin tones. Where the skin tones were before. So we are going to go here and turn on display qualifier. So then when we hover over, we'll see where everything is. So look at where we are before and then after. And if I go right here, we're literally at this dot right here. Magic does exist, all right? So there you have it. I mean, balance we can do with our eyes closed. When it comes to look building, not so much. And for that, we can use all the help that we can get. And I'll show you this product right here. It's called RapidGrade. Best part about it is that you can sign up for as low as $7 and you get a full version. So like no watermarks. And let's just pick one of the looks right here. So how about if we put like coral depth? I mean, this is more film-like than shooting this on film. Like, are you kidding me? Look at these lights. They have a little dinge going on without, and then after, like, look at this right here. And then what's happening to our blue? It's just adding so much pop. I hire colorists around the world to create 52 bespoke looks per year. That's one look a week. Every look is 100% fully customizable. Start your RapidGrade annual plan for as low as $7. Link is going to be in the description. Let's get back to the video. Moving on to the second shot. This right here. Hide it. Go away. Okay, so now this is what we're looking at. Again, same practice. Start with the vectorscope. This time, let's make it very interesting. Let's just use our custom curves. So let's turn this off. Why am I doing it this way? Because anytime you have snow and you have like stuff where things need to be, the anchors need to be met, like the blacks need to be black and the whites need to be white, this is a good way to do it because we're seeing like how in our parade the blues are lifted and the reds are crushed. Now if I go in my blue, right, and if I grab this and if I start pulling it down like that, right, and then I go in my green and start pulling it down like that, like you're seeing what we're doing now. We're like really trying to get this dialed in. You see, like the white is coming in up top now. And then what happens if we go here and I go, like, look at how much of a difference we're making here. And then I can just take my blue and it's like, where do I want to go? I mean, because it's snow, so it needs to be a little bit on that side. And look at where we are, how blue this image was to where we brought it. And look at what's happening on the tail end, how much we saved our image to clean it up on the bottom end. And then what else can we do? I'm going to go in my magenta here and I'm going to just see if it needs anything. And this is where we are so far. And let's go to our red. I don't think we need to do anything more with our red. Let's go to our blue. I think that's looking good. I mean, we might actually just be in the right place. So I just brought it in, right? So this is before, this is after. I mean, just look at it. Okay. So this is before, this is after. I mean, sure, I would say like maybe we're just a tiny bit more yellow, just a hint more yellow, but still like this was just so blue. And like we saved so much of our image. And then that little yellow that's happening is going to be fixed right here. If I go down here and just bring that up a little bit, see, and then that's going to be cleaned up. But you saw like how important this was to kind of use these, because what's happening is this: anytime we're balancing our image, we always want to make sure that we don't twist and turn our image. Okay, so we do these global changes that move like this, almost like a steering wheel that just like goes like that. It doesn't go like this, right? So this is exactly what's happening here. When I'm taking my blue on the top end, I'm saying go here, and then I'm taking from the bottom and I say go here, and the line between it is a very linear movement that is happening with that point, that pivot point, right? When they're moving, it's not like we're creating another point right here and we're doing this, right? This is where the breakage happens. So like this is very clean. Even like where we were before was pretty good, but this is way better because it's like the snow with your own eyes will look like this color. And we just did that. Like, look at how much we cleaned up our image. And that's why the colorized waveform is so important. You saw what we were doing with it, right? And look at the vectorscope. And again, every image cannot be just put right in the dead center, because imagine like this is already looking yellow and like a little bit too red, right? Now imagine if I'm just chasing for that middle point and I'm just like really going for that middle point and I go this, like I need to bring it here. Look at how dirty and ugly it got. And that's why this was our best friend. I was just like trying to keep this white but on the cooler side, and then we just pulled it off. And then it just needed a little bit of tweak on the bottom end and we were just done. Okay, moving on to this shot, let's hide it. And in this one, I want to show you the method that I've shared with you before, but if you want to learn more about it, then there's going to be a link to the video up top and also in the description below, and you should really watch that and understand the entire process deeply to what I'm doing. But I'm going to right click here, I'm going to go under gamma, and I'm going to change the gamma of this node to linear. Once that happens, our temp and tint basically behaves exactly like how it behaves in camera. Okay, so this is very different than the normal behavior in your Rec 709 space. So now that I've turned that on, I'm just looking at this entire image and I'm looking at my vector scope. I'm gonna go in my temp, I'm gonna warm it up a little bit like that. I'm gonna go in my tint and I'm gonna go, what do we need? Why am I keeping it a little bit cooler, the entire image? She's in the bathroom and it's more on the greenish, like cooler tone side than where it's supposed to be, like, you know, again, dead smack in the center, okay? And then her skin tones, right? Like are gonna be right here. So we just wanna make sure that that kisses like this line right here. How are we feeling? Personally, I feel like, I mean, again, we can go really far and just kind of see what we're doing. So then we know where we'll be happy, and then we can do the same thing here. Why not? I think we might be good here. This looks like this will give us exactly what we're looking for. So I'm gonna go right here, I'm gonna pull her up, and this is before and then this is after. And just look at it. How small of a change we made, but like what happened. So if I go to the skin tones, like right here, see? It was exactly this little point, and it was just like that. We created so much separation. Like this was her skin before, and then this is after. And now you see why I didn't lean all the way in. And this is exactly what I mean, right? Like if we just aim for the center point, this is what we end up with. And that's not what we want at all. So we're gonna go back to what I had right here. She's taking a shower, right? So it's early in the morning. Early in the morning, what did I say? When it comes to mornings and when it comes to nights, it's gonna be leaning a little bit toward like cooler tones. So this, in this case, will make a lot more sense. It's 3 different methods that I showed you. So like we have our custom curves, but when it comes to like stuff like this, makes a lot more sense to try to balance it with this. You don't always have to. You can use other techniques. I mean, we can like basically do this and now go to gamma, linear, and see if this can help us. The only problem I'm going to show you in 1 minute. So like, let's just try to pull this up Do something like that. So the only problem is this, right? We can't necessarily control the tail end as much in this process, and that's why it's kind of limiting. Whereas the other process like really helped us. So like, we were able to clean up the shadows quite a bit because we just controlled it that way, and that's why it mattered. And then when we go here, the reason why we use the HDR palette offset instead of just my printer lights, because with printer lights, the problem is that it doesn't really keep our anchors locked in. It starts to move our bottom and the top. It's fine when the footage doesn't need to be moved too much. But in a case like this, it would have looked a lot flatter if I used my primaries offset instead of global offset. Global offset like keeps the dark points pretty dark, light points pretty light. It keeps those anchors locked in and then moves everything around that. So personally, I think the global offset is a little bit more superior over the traditional printer lights. The problem is that if you are a professional colorist and if you know how to dial things in, regular printer lights just really work for me because it's a simple math equation. I'm just like looking at RGB, cyan, magenta, yellow, right? Like in my head, and I'm just going minus this plus that, minus this plus that, and get there really quick. I just want to show you a bunch of different methods on why we're doing what we're doing. And that's the entire idea, right? And you saw like even from the taste making aspect of it, knowing the time of day, understanding the story, like what is happening and when is it happening, and how can we then just like support that. So there you have it. If you want to learn more about the linear process, then definitely check out the lift gamma gain video. Link is going to be up top and in the description below. If you have any content suggestions, drop them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for our next video, which is going to be dropping in 2 to 3 days. I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. Peace.